Hello everyone and welcome to my channel. I am Crispy and today we are back on my forever island of Mushmore. So last time we worked on my entrance and I time traveled to show you guys and myself what this entrance looks like in every single season and to make sure that it works all year round. And so if you haven't already checked that out, I would appreciate if you did. Today what I want to work on is the Nooks Cranny and decorate around it. Actually I may put the Able sisters right here too, because I don't know what else I'm gonna put here. And so I can even extend this cliff if I need more room. So I am going to do that and go get the tailor's shop kit and put that down, and then we will get started. Alright, so starting out, you can see how my huge field of green mums has just gotten completely out of hand. I really need to move those suckers to the beach, but I'm probably gonna have to get rid of some colors of flowers first because my beaches are full of flowers already. So yeah, if you ever want to know how to have flowers grow wildly on your island out of control, just turn on Beautiful Island Ordinance. But what I'm starting out here doing is creating a little crafting area. I've never done this before. I've never used a storage shed, I don't think anyway, as like a decorative, item. Usually I just carry it with me. I have it on the beach, I have it by my house, I use it as I build, and then I leave it in storage or in my pockets when I set the DA. But this is my forever island. I want to make it functional. So I put a storage shed and a workbench here beside the Nooks Cranny because I thought it kind of looked like a little shed, and so I made it functional, but also I think it goes with the building. I did have trouble finding items in my pockets, but I think we all do that from time to time. I got so many balloons when building this again, so I was able to finally finish getting all of the maple leaf DIYs that I needed, which I was ecstatic about. On my last forever island, I actually didn't end up getting the rest of the DIYs that I needed, I think, for like mush and maple leaf season, and so I was just ecstatic that I actually ended up getting them all. I feel like the game gives you a few in the beginning of the season and then they stop coming and you just can't get any more after that. So I was just glad that RNG was actually on my side. But I'm just kind of making a little area here by the Nooks Cranny, a garden wagon and like some stacked bags, like a little plant farmy type area, I guess you could say. And I put the garden wagon there that I crafted myself. I was so proud because those use a lot of materials to craft. But also I left the drop box accessible because sometimes I do use that when the shop is closed to sell things. So I put a party lights arch and some trees in front of it, and then I put this tree down over here on the left, and it was kind of covering up the garden wagon a bit too much, and so I decided to bring the garden wagon forward and put the tree behind it instead. That way you could see both of the things, but I do have so many green mums. That entire upper left corner of my map is completely full of flowers. I really need to get them under control. I'm probably just going to sell all of my pink flowers, maybe even my purple flowers, and I think my yellow ones too, because I don't think I'm actually going to use those colors. I did not mean to shake that tree. I was trying to move the stool or turn it. I put a little wooden flower, what do you call it? The watering can. I put a wooden watering can on the stool and I was trying to turn it, and instead I shook the tree. But yeah, I think that I'm not going to use those colors. I'm just going to use the colors that I have, but I may do a rainbow garden somewhere with all the flowers, because I did bring all of my flowers over from my last island that I started that was supposed to be a 4-season mushroom island. And so I brought all those flowers from that island over because I grew them all myself from scratch. And so that was my very first blue rose. And so I wanted to bring them over. So I may put those somewhere. But other than that, I don't think I'll have any of those colors on this island. But here on the left, I am attempting to make a little garden. And I wasn't sure at first if it was going to be a flower garden or if I was going to put some crops. But then I decided to do crops, and so I took that rug out because I was going to put a seating area there, but then I didn't really have room to add a table and chairs there and still be able to get by to my workbench and storage shed. So I wanted to definitely leave a path to get to those. So I just added a few of all of the crops here and put some stacked bags, and I just left it as like a small little farm where if I needed to, use it as a functional farm, I could, but also I think it looks cute and small and it's not ginormous. So I wasn't sure if I wanted to do the bushes and the fence like staggered here, and so I tried a few different things. I wanted you to be able to get by, so I didn't want it to cut it off too much. But I think I ended up taking some of the bushes and fence out just so that you could get through there a little bit better. And so then I put a little bit more pathing down. I do really like this fall path, and I'm gonna have to find something that works if when we get to the snow or the spring, if it looks weird. But for now, I'm really, really loving it. And so I'm using it like in areas where I want to walk, but also kind of need a path. It's not the main path, but it is a walkway. And so I had, a little blob of pathing there, and I extended it down towards the farm, but then I decided that it looked a little bit weird, and so I ended up changing it to be two separate little shapes of pathing instead of one bigger one. This path, I really love it, but it is only a 9-piece path, and so it doesn't have a lot of the different pieces that help you make a path really organic shape. You can get it really skinny, you can get it really full. It just isn't as versatile as some of the paths that have like 14, 15 pieces, the skinny pieces and the edges and the tops and the sides and everything. So it's a little bit harder to work with, but I still love it so much. So now you can see it's two different shapes there. And I actually ended up even taking out the bottom piece because I needed to put this path going towards an incline. I used my ladder to get down over here on the left side of this cliff so many times that I decided to put an incline here because I constantly had to go down to the beach to get flowers. I constantly was having to go down to the beach to pop balloons, and so I just decided to put an incline there, and I wanted there to be a path going to the incline, so I just took that little bit of pathing out. But now I am just filling in the space behind the Nooks Cranny, and so I just used some giant vines and some trees and bushes and flowers, and then I just was trying to fill in the rest of the space next to the cliffs. So whenever I fill in the area right beside the cliffs, I usually just use wheat fields and flowers and bushes, and then that makes it pretty easy to fill in the space. And I am almost out of wheat fields actually, so I'm gonna have to order a bunch more. But I'm also going to have to farm Flick because I am pretty much out of bug models. I think I have the leaf bug. I have one of those, and I put a snail there on that little mushroom because I thought it was cute, but I'm out of butterflies. I only have a couple more bugs in storage, and as far as like the models, I have lots of bugs that are not made into models, but I just need to take the time to farm Flick whenever he is here. And he was just here one of the days right before this build or during this build, and I should have just taken the time to order some more from him, and I didn't. I ordered that snail and then I moved to the next day. So that was not a very good decision on my part because I was trying to put a bug on a pillar, like a butterfly model like I usually do, and I wasn't able to do that because I didn't have any more. So I am gonna have to do that. I am gonna have to farm Flick, but I also got this brownish, greenish, broken brick code, and it's not even a 9-piece path, and I really love it. I end up putting it in front of the Able Sisters here, and here in a minute I will skip, the video will skip to here where I already had a storefront and a curtain in front of the Able Sisters, and I had a covered counter and the curtain before, and I had recorded that and everything, and I was starting to decorate, and I just didn't like the dark covered counter as much, so I tried out this white storefront and I ended up liking it more, and I was gonna pick it back up and then start recording the whole thing, but I didn't have room in my pocket, so I'm like, you know what, I'll just explain what happened in the voiceover. And I ended up sitting on that cushion like 3 or 4 times before it was all said and done. Oh, so funny. Every time I put a chair down, I end up sitting on it. But I did get several balloons in this build because, you know, I gotta get all of the balloons that I possibly can. But now you can see the brick code. I really like how it looks with the planks in front of the Able Sisters. I thought it was a really nice brick code, and I loved that it didn't have too many pieces. So I used it there, and I was putting like a giant vine and a tree on the right side of the Nooks Cranny, and you'll see it in just a moment, but I didn't really like how it looked. I hate that Animal Crossing doesn't let us get closer to the buildings with trees. I want to get them closer and they will not let me, and it's mean. It's rude and disrespectful. I wish we could get them closer. But what I ended up doing, because I didn't like what was happening, I didn't like the stuff that I was putting down, I ended up putting some more of the brick path beside the Nooks Cranny. And I decided to do like a little plant shop area because I love plants in this game. I don't really have a lot of plants in real life because I have a black thumb. I don't do well with plants, but I do love them, and I really love them in this game. So here is where I'm trying to put a tree down, and you can see I have to put it over because I can't put it too close to the building. So I tried to fill in the gap with some flowers, and I put a giant vine behind it, but yeah, I just didn't like the way that it looked very much. And I ended up putting like a little laundry area here beside the Able Sisters because I thought that it was fitting. And then the rest of the space was a bit harder to fill in. I ended up using a bunch of natural like trees and flowers, but it gets harder and harder to fill in the little tiny spaces. And so I do, struggle with that, but this it took me all day long. It was hours and hours of just I had to time travel several times because I had to order stuff. I didn't have any more plants for the plant shop. I had to order some of the little biotope planters because the ones that I had were like pink and blue. I had to go and get the brown version, and just different stuff like that, ordering it. And I also ordered a metal table and chairs that I was gonna use as like a little seating area, but I just didn't like how it looked with a rug coat underneath, so I ended up picking that up. I may use it in some other area. But now I'm gonna put the giant vine down, and it's not that it looks bad. I don't know, it just looked a little bit weird to me. I like to put the giant vines like behind trees, as like a filler type thing, and I don't know, I didn't like it as much. And I put like a little table and chairs beside the Nooks Cranny, but once I came up with the plant shop idea, the table and chair was kind of in the way, so I ended up picking that up too. But I will put some seating areas in other places. I just I couldn't really find a place in this instance to put it. I thought that the little tea table was good for a sewing area, and I liked the plant shop more than the table and chair. So now you can see I'm doing the little laundry area. And so I just did a little clothesline and the wash tub, and I just love that little old-fashioned wash tub. I think it is so cute, and I love doing little laundry areas. The clothesline is one of my favorites. I feel like when you get your starting DIYs, when you get the first 3 plots, you either get the clothesline or you get the barrel. And I don't know that I've ever had an island where I got both. And that's so sad because they're 2 of my favorites. I want them both, I'd rather have those than like a bird bath, or a bird house. But I think everybody gets the bird house. But now I'm doing the little plant shop beside the Nooks Cranny, and I put that brick code down, and I really like it. I don't know how it's gonna look in the snow, but I'm sure I can find a version that will look, you know, good. Maybe a browner version or something. I don't know. Hopefully it'll look good in the snow. I didn't actually time travel this time to see if it looked good in all of the seasons. Maybe I should have, but I'm just like, you know, telling myself that I can change things in different seasons. Forever Island, I'm sure, is ever changing, and so it's gonna be okay. I'm trying to make it work well in the season that I'm in, and I'm hoping that I, you know, am making it work in all seasons. We will see. I'm kind of using the same things and same codes mostly that I used at the entrance, so hopefully. But I know that the fall path might not look as good in the other seasons, so that will probably change. But I actually have a green path that has like some mushrooms in it that I might just save over that fall path version and have it in the fall, and then I'll have the green version like in the spring and summer. And I think that it might look okay in the snow. It seemed to look okay. Well, it was underneath the mush parasols and the giant vines, I guess, mostly. But we'll see. If I need to change it up and save over it with a different path, then I will, but I have it favorited, so I'll be able to come back to it. I'm obsessed with it. It has little mushrooms, it has little plants, little leaves, and it has little stones and little flowers, and it's just like my favorite path right now to use. And I would use it as a main path, but I know that I'm probably gonna have to save over it, so I just wanted to have my main path be more neutral and be more of a dirt path. So I just have this last little area here beside the incline, and then a little bit in front of the Able Sisters, and then we will be finished. Filling in the last little bits was the hardest part, just because I was like, I don't know what to put here. I am out of ideas, and I didn't want to put too many trees that were going to block the view, so I had to be sparing with the trees. And so yeah, filling in the last little bit was just the hardest part, and I totally forgot to customize that mush partition. I had it in the green version because that's what I was going to use for the spring area, and now I'm not doing the different seasons, so I had to go and change that customization. But I'm just filling in this last little bit of space, and I ended up getting that broken pillar DIY when I was doing the entrance, and that was like the last of the ruined DIYs that I was really wanting. I'm sure there's more glowing moss and ruined DIYs that I don't have, but I really wanted the pillars because I use them all the time. I love them because they're a one tile item and they give height, and so I really wanted it, and I couldn't find it for the longest time. I just kept finding glowing moss DIYs, so I was so happy to have found that one, and I'm so glad that I'm working on this island now. I cannot wait for the update. I know I've said it, but I'm just so excited, and yeah, I hope that you guys enjoyed, and I hope that you like my little Able Sisters and Nooks Cranny build. Let me know if you have any other suggestions or comments in the comment section below, and let me know if you're working on your Forever Island and how you're getting ready for the update. And thank you so much for watching, and thank you to all of our members. I appreciate you guys so much, And yeah, I will grab my helper for the final walkthrough and we'll see how the area came out. And we are back and I finally finished.
Yay.
It took me all day long, but I decorated around the Nooks Cranny and Able sisters today.
Finally.
You ready to see it?
Yeah.
Why did you say finally? You didn't even know I was doing it.
I'm agreeing with you, okay?
Okay, so this is the Able sisters area. I did a laundry area and a little sewing table and put a few little dresses. You recognize the one dress?
Yes.
And
Wow.
I was gonna put something like mushroom related maybe on the pillar, but I didn't have anything that would go up there. So until I get some more bug models, I may have to use the biotope planters, but I did a little plant shop over here. And then over here we have a little farm and a little crafting area that's actually, useful. I can put stuff inside, I can craft stuff, I can gather some crops, and I also put a little incline going down because I kept having to go chase balloons and use my ladder to go down right here. So I was like, why don't I just put an incline? So I did.
Yay.
Many days of time traveling, many days of having to go to Harv's and to order things and to grow more trees, but I finally finished.
Yay.
Alright, so we are gonna end this here. Whoops. And next time I will work on probably the resident services.
Okay.
All right, so hope you guys enjoyed. We will see you next time.
Shall we say bye? Bye. Make sure to like and subscribe.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.